Hello YouTube, this is Techie Jess Doodles, or Techie Jess, coming at ya on another Tuesday. So today what I'm going to be going over for you guys is just to pretty much go over how to do simple coloring on characters like this. And what I actually want you to do, guys, I want you guys to participate in this. This is a drawing that I don't really own. Well, I'm not going to say is copyright. I just did it really quickly. So what I would like you guys to do is actually, I'm going to make this as the cat as big as I can, and I'll upload the video in HD. And I want you guys to take a screenshot of this cat and maybe trace it or whatever into Photoshop, or you can make your own little doodle. And I want you to post a video response on this video of you guys doing your colored version. I'm going to pick one of those videos as the winner, and what I'm going to do is actually post a little bit of that clip or give a direct link in one of my videos and give you guys a shout out to your channel. I know it's not going to do much. I don't have tons of subs right now, but you never know. Maybe you'll get one or two and you guys can get yourself started on your own drawing channel. So without further ado, let's get into it. You guys see I have all my layers still over here on the side. I still have this little box down here that I put in there last week. Here, I'll make my eraser bigger here. Oop, that's not my eraser. My eraser bigger, and then I'll just get rid of that. And then we will move on into simple coloring. Now, I'm not going to do the whole cat for you guys. I'm just going to do bits and pieces, but I'm going to basically show you how to get yourself started. So first you got to pick a color. Well, actually do your layer. So I usually do fur, let's just say. Enter. And then make sure it's underneath the lining. I'm going to get rid of this layer here because I don't need it anymore. Make sure that fur is actually, oops, that was a bad idea. Okay, make sure fur is actually under the lining so that the color you put underneath here, so let me just pick a quick orange color. See, the lining goes over top of it, so you don't have to worry about fixing your lining up. You can just erase it. So if you go over a line like that and you don't really want it on the eyelid, you can just erase it if you want to. You can also do different types of gradients. So here I'm going to show you just up on top of the ear here. I'm going to go over it like that, kind of. You guys may see if you watch my doodles on my Techie Jess channel that sometimes I go outside of the lines. I know in kindergarten and in grade 1 and grade 2 they tell you don't color outside the lines, color in the lines. Well, you know what? When you get older, you can actually color outside the lines. It's okay, especially in digital work, because you can actually erase it. So I'm going to go outside the lines here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a darker color, and I'm actually going to put that in here, just as an example. And then this is what I usually do to blend my colors. I go up here to my brush tool, and I go down to my mixer brush. You guys see that right here? This is a tool that I actually use all the time. It is my favorite tool in Photoshop in general, because I mainly use Photoshop for speed painting, not really for fixing up any photos. I do use it here and there for that type of thing, but I mainly do speed paintings for you guys and for myself. So this brush is awesome because what it actually does is it mixes the color that you have selected here in with whatever color you have already there. So in this case it's orange, and you can also use, you don't have to use a darker color. You can use the same color as your underlayer, and what that actually does is it allows you to get a smoother blending. So usually what I do is I use the darker color first, put that in with the normal brush tool, and then I go over it and make it blend a little bit better in with the normal color I have underneath. So as you guys can see there is quite a bit of a gradient going on in there. And I messed up a little bit with the color coming off, but I can just get rid of that with my eraser. Going around here. And the best thing about digital is you can always click the undo button if it doesn't work out in your favor, and you can do it, give it another go and fix it. That's why I personally like digital work better than any type of medium, but that's just me personally. And actually when I'm in school, my teachers, except for my digital teacher, frowns upon using digital art as a media. And it really bothers me because for me, it is the best media in terms of, oops, see, I screwed up there. So edit, step backwards, and then you can start all over again. But he just doesn't understand why I like digital so much and doesn't understand why I can't use normal media for everything I do. And I just don't like the effects most normal media give. But his argument is you got to start from the basics. So I kind of understand, but still. So there you go. That's a gradient in there. That's pretty much how I color things. Now I'm going to actually get rid of this completely here. See if I can get rid of it fast enough. Okay. And I'm going to show you guys what I normally do to get my colors actually done quite quickly. The paint bucket tool right here, you guys are probably all familiar with the paint bucket tool. It's in pretty much every type of photo editing program / drawing software available, even free ones. So what I usually do is I pick my local tone, which is the tone I want all over. In this case, this is a cartoon, so it doesn't really matter in terms of local color of a face. I can pick any color I want. I can pick orange, I can pick blue, I can really pick anything, but we're just going to stick with the orange. And then I just simply click the paint bucket in, and I got a solid color there. So now, again, I said in my last videos that white is very intimidating. When you have an actual color that you want to work with, you see things as a whole. Never focus on one part. So I would never say go in here, into this little puff here, and doodle this and like fiddle with the colors for like about an hour. You want to see the whole picture. Zoom out, look at everything, look at how it's looking small, look at how the whole picture is developing as you go, because you will get such a better feeling from that in terms of it being a whole piece rather than separate parts you put together. So that is one thing I can advise you there. You will get with the paint bucket here and there, you'll get little spots like, see there, how it didn't fill perfectly. But again, that's easy. You just go in with your eraser after and fix it up. Or you could make your brush smaller, but I don't have patience for that. So usually I just do that. And you're good to go. You have other parts in there like that. And now you can decide how you want to do your shading. Usually I do my shading first, and then I go in with my highlight after. You don't have to do that. You can go with your highlighting first if you want to. This is just how I work. If you want to try it this way and see if it works for yourself, that is great. You can do that as well. So I usually go in here right now. I have the mixer paintbrush selected. You can use the mixer paintbrush by itself, but as you can see, it's so faint. So I wouldn't suggest using it unless you just want a small little bit of color where you want to go. You mainly want to do kind of like an actual paint palette when you're actually painting, and put some color down first and then blend it in, because the colors will be a lot more vibrant. It'll look a lot nicer. So as you guys can see here, I'm blending down. I went over the lines again. That is totally okay. Go back in and just swoop and you get rid of all the colors there. And that looks pretty good, I think, right there. You can also experiment with your different types of tone for your shading. I use purple a lot. I use purple. Purple is a great color on orange because orange is the opposite color of orange is blue, but there's a lot of blue in purple. So purple works just fine. But if you want to use blue, let's see if we can go select a blue here. You can do that as well. But see, even if you compare the two tones here, there's not that big of a difference. But what I'm trying to get at is when you're doing shading, and you have a bright color like orange, or let's just say you're doing yellow, you can use purple as your shading because they're complementary colors, and they work really well. Even when you're painting traditionally, you want to add shading into something. Let's just say you're painting something green. If you add red into your color, you'll get a much darker, rich color. And it works great. That's what I use all the time. It's something our teachers, our professors actually really encourage us doing, is mixing in the complement and not necessarily adding black. We are actually trained in school never, ever to use black. A lot of you guys out there are probably like, why not use black? Black, guys, it has no, how do I say it? Pretty much has no pigment in it. Well, it does have pigment, obviously, because it makes a mark, but it doesn't have a lively looking feel to it. It's why we use it for lining. Black actually makes things look horrible. If you have ever played with black in shading, you guys know what I'm talking about. It just does not work. So we're encouraged to use other colors. So as you guys can see there, that's the difference here between the purple and just a darker shade of the orange that you pick. And the great thing about Photoshop is you can go right in here. So let's just say I want to do that again with the orange. Click on the orange, and then you can pick another tone that is relative to the actual tone you have here if you like that look better. I do it sometimes. Sometimes I do this and then I go over with the purple after. It's really all about experimentation. So pretty much that's it, guys. What else should I color here? Should I color anything else in here to show you guys? Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you how to do fur. Okay, so we're going to go in with a little bit of highlight. Usually I don't use white exactly right away. This use a yellow. So we're going to decide how his hair flows. Let's just make the brush a little bit smaller. Make it go down like that. That's what we're going to do there, I think, for now. Maybe some in here. You can mix this in. So down here I'm going to do mixing, no, up here I'm going to do mixing with the mixer brush, how it makes fur look. So you can extend the color, it kind of goes up a little bit, kind of makes it just blend in a little bit so it's not as vibrant. So that actually looks really nice. I like the way that that's looking for me. But you can also use a different tool, which is right here. It's called, let me see if I can get my mouse to hover over there. No, it's called the Smudge Tool, and I actually use this a lot. The only bad thing about the Smudge Tool is, I'll show you here in a second. See how that white went off? The reason it's done that is because when we added the paint bucket tool and we went in here, it only colored the outside. It didn't color behind the black. And because our fur layer is behind our liner, it takes that underneath the black as white and smudges it across. So just keep in mind that could happen. You can still use it. It's not that big of a deal. You can always go back in and edit that color. But if you're using it for a big piece of color that like I have here and you just drag it up, this tool works really nicely for creating fur. It blends things in really nicely. And it's just something that I actually use a lot. You can make it really coarse. You can change it up. It's all about experimenting. If I don't like this, edit, undo. You know, like just play around with it. See what you like best. And just have fun with it. Don't make this something that is really tedious, really difficult to do. Do something that is gonna make you like what you're drawing. You know what I mean? That's why I draw cartoons a lot, because they make me happy. I like drawing cartoons, even though this cartoon is a little bit depressed. Anyways, guys, that is pretty much gonna sum up the video for today's Tuesday, or for today's doodle tip, I should say. If you have any questions about coloring at all, make sure you guys send me an email. I'll have a little email here. I'll do this again like I did last time. Get my brush tool. Little email's gonna be right here. And you can hit me up at any time and I will try my best to help you guys out. Again, make sure that you guys do your own little doodle. You can use this one, you can use one of your own. I'd prefer you use one of your own so I can see what you guys are capable of. And I will post that in my, or I'll post your YouTube channel as a shout out on my next video, which is going to be on Thursday. Or maybe, you know what, let's do it next Tuesday so you guys have a little bit of time to actually get that done for yourselves. So without further ado, guys, I will see you on Thursday, and thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing and sticking around here with me. Anyways, guys, toodles!